correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is your first basketball hire at Duquesne, right?
That's correct.
Now, they've had, as you know, some problems in the past. What makes you think that this time it's going to work?
Well, you know, typically you never look backward. You always look forward in planning and execution. And so, you know, the pillars of any good program we always refer to as the 3 C's. And so the first one is the conference. And the conference, the Atlantic 10 is a top conference nationally in men's basketball, has multiple bids to the NCAA tournament. So there's a platform for success that if you do well in the conference, you can get into meaningful postseason play. The next one is commitment, and that means that all the critical functions, from the recruiting budget to the operating budget to the composition of staff, everything, the commitment the university makes to all those critical operating elements has to be at a level to be competitive in the conference. And we have reallocated resources, we've added resources to do so. So we're resourcing now with the ability to compete at the top of the conference. And the last one's the coach. And so we have a coach in place that has had one of 4 programs that's won 21 more games or more in the last 12 seasons, and that's Akron, Duke, Gonzaga, and Kansas. So pretty good company.
Right.
And Keith, I think, has a plan to accelerate this appropriately, accordingly, to make sure we can get in the top half of the conference more quickly than not. And so when you align all 3 of those pieces, the inevitable 3-legged stool, you'll have good balance, and I think you'll have good competitive results.
Now, you mentioned the B word there, budget.
Yeah.
Have you increased the operating budget in the recruiting? Could you quantify that at all, Dave?
So not to go into details, but we have to be in the top half of the conference in that. That's kind of a target, a baseline we have to make sure that there's enough resources. And especially in the first 2 years of a coaching transition, you're going to have to see more kids. You're going to have more people out. It's just, you know, when you're recreating and reshaping a team, those first couple of years, you need additional resources. So we increase the budget for these next 2 years until things stabilize.
The recruiting budget.
The recruiting budget, and then we're on a more normal cycle, you know, bringing in the normal amount of kids. But you look this year, you know, we've got quite a few newcomers.
We got kind of 5 at least. More than that?
Many as 10 including transfers. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, 4 who aren't eligible this year.
5 who aren't eligible this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would include Dunmartin, Hughes, Randall, and Weathers, right?
And the other Hughes. Frankie Hughes just committed to us over the weekend.
Oh, okay. So there's and the 5 newcomers that are be able to play, then the 5 who are set. So that's 10 guys.
That's 10 guys, yeah.
Is that, in your experience as an athletic director, is that unusual to have that many new faces in a program?
Not in today's day and age.
No?
If you look at the proliferation of transfers throughout Division I, it went from 500 to 600 to now 700. Kids are just moving, and that's the nature of the beast. And so, in addition to getting a model of 4-year kids, which Keith is accustomed to, and that'll probably be his model going forward, although he did take a junior college player this year, all the transfers are freshmen that will transfer in and have 3 years to play, because Keith is a strong believer in player development, making kids better over a period of time, likes to stabilize things. That's the model he's used at Akron. And he may sprinkle in a transfer here and there, but he's not a reshaper. He likes a consistent roster that are his kids that he develops on a long period of time.